Today on Steelers Talk, I am going to give you guys the best reason not to name Justin Fields QB1 of the Pittsburgh Steelers full-time whenever Russell Wilson becomes fully healthy. I'll be going into what I consider to be Fields' biggest flaw and why that flaw could be detrimental to the Pittsburgh Steelers' title hopes in 2024. Earlier this week, I actually made the case for Fields, okay? I made the case why Justin Fields should be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the rest of the season. So make sure you guys check out that video to see why Fields could be the starter long-term for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. I'll put the link to that in the comments and description of today's show. And, of course, make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos here on Steelers Talk. Really do appreciate your guys' support. So let's get into the content here. And first up here, I want to acknowledge the good with what Justin Fields has done in this season so far because he has looked pretty darn good. And he has done a lot of good things. And obviously the Steelers are 2-0. And, he hasn't thrown an interception. And he's almost completing 70% of his passes. I mean, that is something that is not even close to his previous numbers in his career. 70% is an awesome number for Justin Fields. Now, just 273 yards passing, but a lot of his passing yards have actually been negated by penalties. Does have a touchdown. Should have 2 if there wasn't an offensive pass interference on his other touchdown pass. And then the fact that he's taking care of the football, no turnovers through the first 2 weeks, is definitely a good sign. And not only do I think that his numbers are good right now, but also I think that they're even cut short from what they should be because this offense has been so heavily penalized, and it has led to not only taking away one of his touchdowns, but also some of his biggest plays this year. I mean, remember in week 2 when he was rolling out to his right full speed on a sprint, throws a dot to George Pickens, who was tightly covered like 40 yards down the field. One of the greatest throws I've ever seen an NFL quarterback make, and Broderick Jones holds, so it doesn't count, right? So if you look just at the stat sheet, I don't think it tells the whole picture. I do think Justin Fields has done a good job to this point. What I'm liking from Fields is that he's protecting the football. That's something that he hasn't done at a high level throughout his career. Too many fumbles, too many interceptions. Also, he's creating with his legs effectively. Third downs, picking up first with his legs, making plays when the receivers aren't getting open for him. He's doing a lot of good things with his legs, and that's certainly one of the advantages with going with him over Russell Wilson. And then he's delivering on downfield shot plays. He's one of the most effective downfield throwers in the National Football League through 2 weeks. That's always been a strength of his game, and it's good to see that he's moving that over to his time here in Pittsburgh. And it's certainly been good enough, man. I think through 2 games he has shown himself to be a very serviceable starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's managing the game well. He's not turning the ball over, and he can certainly play with a lead. If the defense allows this offense to score early and then get a lead early, he can certainly play with that lead and play with the defense dominating as much as they are to this point in the year. Now, let me know down there in the comments section, how are you guys feeling about Justin Fields after 2 weeks? Grade Justin Fields' performance through these first 2 games for me for today's pinned comment. An A, B, C, D, or F when YouTube throws you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that ad break comes, give me an A, a B, a C, a D, or F. Give me a grade for Justin Fields so far. For me, I'm going to give it a B+. I think that he's done a very good job, like I said, protecting the football, using his legs, throwing the ball downfield. Now, when you watch the film, I think he is still very slow in his mental processing. I still think that he's passing up open receivers. I think his footwork can get messy at times. But listen, man, a lot of what he does makes up for that. And I think that, generally speaking, he has done a good job as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And obviously, when the Steelers defense is as good as they have played these first 2 weeks, it makes the quarterback's life a whole lot easier. So for right now, I'm going to give it a B+. But coming up here on Steelers Talk, I'm going to reveal Fields' biggest flaw as a potential franchise quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers and why I think that Russell Wilson probably has the advantage in this regard. But before we get into that, let's have word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks, which is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you have to do is pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the Prize Picks community today. Just 1 Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks every week for the month of September. That's right, only 1 passing yard from Caleb Williams gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. That means 4 weeks of free W's. At this point, if you haven't taken advantage of this, you already missed 2 free weeks of W's. Don't miss any more. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone the second September ends. Also, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you only play $5. You don't even need to win that first projection to get the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. So Justin Fields' biggest flaw from my perspective and watching this kid play throughout all 4 years of his NFL career is that when the defense knows Justin has to throw the football, his effectiveness goes way down. All right, the fact that he is such a good rusher of the football means that he kind of needs to have the threat of the run present for him to be an effective quarterback in this league, at least to this point in his career. Just last year, he had the second fourth quarter passer rating out of any quarterback in the league last year. The only quarterback with a lower passer rating in the fourth quarter was Bailey Zappi of the New England Patriots, all right? So Justin Fields, not a very clutch quarterback, not very good when the defense knows he has to throw the football. And the reason why that is because he is a slow mental processor. He's not the most accurate quarterback in the world. And, when it comes to the pure drop back game, that's just not his skill set. He's much better on the move as a playmaker, as a rusher, right? So he's much more suited for that kind of stuff. But if there's no threat of the run, those things go away and the defense can pin their ears back and they can exploit Fields' biggest weakness, which is his skill set as a drop back passer, which just isn't very good. Now, the reason why this is worrisome, if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, is that if he doesn't fix this, that means, A, he won't reliably come back if the Steelers get off to an early deficit, say they go down 10-0 to start a game. He's likely not going to come back from that because if you're going to be coming back from a 2 or more possession deficit, you got to throw the football, and the defense is going to know you're going to be throwing the football. Also, he's not going to reliably deliver in the 2-minute drill because the defense knows that he's got to throw the football. So in those types of situations, that's where Fields is at his worst. And, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that wants to be in close games, wants to dominate on defense, wants to control the clock, wants these close game situations, you need somebody that can deliver in the fourth quarter. And, I really do think that if the Steelers get off to early leads and, the defense is dominating, he can be fine. That's what we've seen these first 2 weeks. All right, he's managed the game, all these different things, but we haven't seen Justin Fields under adversity yet. We haven't seen him with a 10-point deficit. We haven't seen him down 3 or 4 with less than 2 minutes have to go do a drive to win a football game. We haven't seen that from Justin Fields in a Steelers uniform, and I think when we see that, we're not going to necessarily love what we see. And to be clear here, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, with how good their defense is, can win 10 games or more with Justin Fields as their starting quarterback this year. I think this team is a playoff team no matter who they choose to be their full-time starting quarterback. This defense is going to hold teams to less than 20 points just about every week. I think Justin Fields is good enough to get this team to 17, 20 points just about every week. All right, they probably won't beat some of the higher-end teams that they have to play this year, but they'll beat up on the lesser teams that they play this year. The Falcons and Broncos games showed that. However, when they get to the playoffs, are they going to be able to win? Justin Fields, it would be his first time in the postseason. If you look at the NFL history books here of first-time quarterback playoffs, I mean, it's not good, all right? It's way less than 50% win rate for those first-time starting quarterbacks in playoff situations. And with Justin Fields' inability to throw when the defense knows he has to throw it definitely limits this offense in terms of what they can do in the postseason, in my opinion. And then the other thing to consider here is that Russ is much more suited to play in the clutch. He's much more suited to throw when the defense knows he has to throw it. You take a look at his career in the clutch, 31 fourth-quarter comebacks. That's tied for 9th all-time in the league. Okay, 39 game-winning drives when the defense knows he has to throw the football. That's top 10 all-time in NFL history. 4 postseason fourth-quarter comebacks. So he not only has the experience in the playoffs, but he has the experience coming back from a deficit in the playoffs. 4 postseason game-winning drives, a Super Bowl win, and 2 appearances, nearly won both. And if you guys think that maybe he's washed, he can't do it anymore, he led the NFL in fourth-quarter comebacks just last season. So Russ proved that when the defense knows he has to throw it, he's at his best, and he's still at his best in those types of situations. I think his ability to read defenses, his ability to be more accurate than Justin Fields. The drop-back passing game is a lot more crisp than Justin Fields. I think his performance in the clutch throughout his career has been much better than Justin Fields. And then that playoff experience that Russ brings to the table and Fields does not definitely gives Russ an edge in this kind of competition because the Steelers want somebody with experience in those big moments. Fields does not have that experience, whereas Russell Wilson does. However, after saying all that, I am cool with Justin Fields. If this team rolls it with Justin Fields moving forward, let's say he has a great game against the Chargers this weekend, I'm perfectly fine if the team decides to go with Fields. I'll have my, I'll have my reservations about it. I'll have my worries about it, but I'm going to be 100% behind this team no matter what they decide to do. And like I said, I think this team's a playoff team with Justin Fields as their quarterback. But what I'll say is this. If Fields can overcome a deficit or can deliver a touchdown in a 2-minute drill situation this weekend and the Steelers win, and he kind of proves me wrong on this fact, I'm perfectly cool keeping him as QB1, and you got to stick with the hot hand in that situation. So let me know down there in the comments section, who is your number one quarterback? Who do you think should be the full-time starter when Russ gets back from his injury? Type RW for Russell Wilson or type JF if you think Justin Fields should be the long-term quarterback here in Pittsburgh.